The Modern Game Podcast.
Let me do one more pistachio.
I always start and you say something stupid.
Right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 26 of the Modern Game Podcast. We're going to get the club stuff out of the way because we're going to do a couple of international specials, even though everyone hates the international break. We thought spice the podcast up a bit because we're all
Seems like
excited
apart from
for us.
everyone hates it apart from us. I mean,
I
I would definitely enjoy it.
I just don't like going weeks without Blues playing when I'm starting to enjoy them again.
It can come at a good time
Yeah.
though for your club, can't it? International breaks sometimes are like dependent on how good your clubs are doing.
It's a great time for us, to be fair. We definitely
How many
needed it.
internationals have you got?
We've got a few.
We've
got a
got
few.
mainly under 21s. I think
We've
I don't
got
think we've got any.
we've got Johnston, Newcastle, O'Shea, Carnu, Conor Gallagher.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Gallagher's with the 21s,
Yeah,
isn't it?
21s.
Got a couple more, but I've got Grasicki, Callum Robinson,
So I
Where's
think we've
Kit Break
got.
from?
Ivory Coast.
You not get called up?
He's
Don't
out on
think
loan,
so.
isn't he?
Yeah, I
I
don't think he got called
think
up either.
I think we only get under 21s. Like Caelan Boyd-Muntz has been called up for the Northern Ireland under 21s. I think Jeremy Bella goes with Angola sometimes,
Yeah.
but who knows? So we might as well start with the club stuff. And since we last recorded, I forgot to put it in the edit, but I said I'd take a draw from Reading. I didn't think Luka Shukovic had turned from the man I once hated to an absolute hero. So from the two games we've recorded since, we got 3 points. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Who was your
For-
second game?
Watford, we got.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
we got beat 3-0, but I know Jamie watched the game. We didn't deserve
You would have taken 2 points from those two games, realistically.
exactly. So
So to come out
If
with
I-
three.
the bonus.
If that was Cov playing Reading and Watford, so I know you play Watford away.
yeah,
Or you at home?
Watford away.
I'd
Reading at
take
home.
1 point. I'd take 1 point Reading at home.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected anything from Watford anyway.
Yeah, I didn't expect anything just because I knew he was going to change the style. He was going to try and implement his own style. But what I saw was players that looked like they gave a shit, which I haven't seen
Yeah.
for 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, you did look. You look like you were playing with a purpose, with a certain play style, which
Well, yeah, we look like we got a sense of direction.
I know. Like under Crank, you kind of just did nothing really clicked, and you didn't know what the play style was. It was kind of just sit back and invite pressure, but then
Well, what
do
we did
nothing with the
Frank
attack.
was when we went 1-0 up, he sort of panicked because we hadn't won in so long. Like the Borough game, he brought 3 centre halves on.
Yeah,
So it's sort of like I think he just lost his nerve completely. Whereas we went 1-0 up against Reading on the Wednesday night, and we should have been 3 or 4 up at half time
yeah,
because we actually take the games to people. And finally, I mean, we've talked about it for weeks on end. The high press, even Watford, who are, for me, the best team we've played this season in terms of quality, couldn't handle it first half. And
Yeah,
Jamie, you watched?
that's where the majority of our goals come from as well. I know you watched the Brentford game, Dan.
Yeah.
I think both our goals came from our high press, and I think when we played you struggled to deal with it as well. Like we struggled to deal with yours.
I don't think anyone in the Championship have good enough defenders.
It's because they all try and play nice football out the back, but it doesn't work because everyone presses so high, and everyone's got fast, nippy strikers that the big 30-year-old centre halves they can't manoeuvre quick enough to deal with that pressure they've got. But the last couple of weeks we've started to smash the ball up, and we've not conceded that many from the mistakes we've made, which we were doing a lot at the start of the season.
I feel like high press sometimes as well in the Championship. You two might correct me if I'm wrong, but it comes more when the smaller teams play the bigger teams.
Yeah.
So like,
it's exactly
as a
like,
West Brom fan, last couple of seasons we've been in the Championship, near enough every single team comes to us and tries to play a high press because obviously they know that under Moore and under Bilic we like to try and play it out the back. So like our defenders weren't the best on the ball. Our best defender on the ball was probably Higazi, and he was prone to make the odd mistake or two. So the teams that used to come to us used to just high press us all the time, and that's where most of our mistakes would come, and that's where we'd concede most of the time.
And I think
from a mistake.
I think as well, and I mean this is credit to you, but and I don't know whether it's just a subconscious thing, but when people play like the teams like West Brom who have the better players, I think there's a bit of a you want to win more.
Yeah.
Like teams will
Yeah,
go to you
100%.
and think we've got to take the game to you, otherwise we're going to get battered.
That kind of, it's like when you play the top teams, you go in. Obviously, I'm not a football manager, but they probably go into the games thinking, well, we're not expected to get anything out of this, so we've got to take the game to them.
Yeah.
So obviously, most people are expecting them to lose. Say like, I don't know who, say Wickham go to Brentford next week away. They've got nothing to lose. They've got absolutely nothing to lose. No one expects them to go there and get a win or a draw. So they might as well just take the game to them.
It's exactly a good example is when we played Brentford, and we had 3 chances.
Yeah,
scored twice. One was a pen from pressing high, and the other one was we were pressing high, and David Raya made a mistake, and we capitalised. And they were trying to play. Like I've mentioned it before, like without Tony, they were just trying to they got to the defensive line, our defensive line, and they just sort of didn't know what to do. But they were controlling possession for most of the game. We were pressing high, and they couldn't deal with it because we sort of went to that game and we were like, well, it's Brentford.
That's what makes the Championship so exciting, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, every team can beat every team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we were so poor against Wickham at the weekend, but like we can go to Brentford, beat them 2-0, but can't hit a barn door with a shotgun against Wickham. Like it's strange how the league works, and I feel like if we played a high press
completely changed that saying, by the way.
Yeah, I know it is what it is. But if we would have played a high press against Wickham, like because we were sort of the team that were going to get pressed by Wickham because they were the underdogs for the game. If we would have played that style against them, they wouldn't have been able to handle it because they're so poor at the back. But we struggled because they were playing that sort of style, and we decided just to not press when it's rewarded us recently.
I think if I was to nitpick on Saturday, and I haven't done this for a few weeks, so I apologise, but we need a striker. So the ball, Jamie, I don't know if you saw this, but from a long throw, which was forced by our high press, their keeper kicked the ball out of play. Hogan has missed a free header from 4 or 5.
Yeah, didn't it hit his shoulder?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's Sunday League.
Yeah.
If he scores that as well, it's 1-0. It's a completely different game.
Imagine if it was even Duke in that position, though, we'd have a better chance of getting at least a header on target.
I think that's where he's got to iron it out as well, because I still think we're quite naive. I feel like if that goal had gone in, the game would have been completely different. It wouldn't have been 3-0. But because our players' confidence is so low, when the second goal went in, we sort of lost our way a little bit, which is something we're going to have to get rid of because we've got Swansea, then Brentford.
Not many of your players, like we've just discussed, will be going on international break. So Bowyer's got now, 2 weeks to sort of implement exactly what he wants to do for the tough games you got coming up. And hopefully, for your sake, he'll be able to sort of bring the confidence levels back up to where they should be.
I mean, they should be high. That Reading performance is probably the best I've seen all season. Just as an all-round, every single player was a 7 or an 8.
I mean, Harvey Dean enjoyed
it. We haven't touched on that. It's a great celebration. I mean, I might meet Karanka one day, so I'm not going to say anything.
I think it was on the commentary on Saturday as well. They were saying that apparently he was supposed to do the baby, like a rocker baby celebration, because his wife gave birth. That was
Jukovic, but
was it?
So Jukovic scored the second. No, Jukovic scored the first. He was supposed to do the rockabye baby. He shrugged a little, and then Dean was supposed to do another celebration. He shrugged, and then at the end of the game,
they all basically just forgot what they were doing and just started taking the piss.
The press conference after the game. So Dean came out and said, "God, you think it wouldn't be difficult to just get the ball out wide and cross it in when you've got a massive target man up front? Because obviously he's been subbing off wingers and bringing on Jukovic for the last 6 months. And I'm going to make a formal apology to Jukovic because I've slagged him off for a lot of the season.
You were going to eat your Christmas tree if he scored a couple of months ago.
It got to a real low point for me and Lucas, mine and Lucas's relationship, but maybe it was just the manager. Because to be fair, on Saturday he was our best player again. And we're not even... when I saw him starting Jukovic against Reading, I thought, God, we're going to lump the ball. We didn't lump the ball. We just got the ball to Harper, got it out wide, and then lumped it. And I kind of don't mind if we lump it from the wings because we've played through the thirds rather than just...
Once you've got your best players on the pitch as well, obviously Sanchez didn't play most of the game last week. So once you've got him on the pitch, and I haven't really seen much of Bella this season, but if he starts picking up form that he can pick up, then you might end up just like putting the ball in the box to you, which might not be a bad idea. If you get it out to the wings and then put it in the box, it's not a bad idea. When you've got a target man up front like that, that's what we've tried to do for the past year and a half, and we've not had the player in the box to put the ball in.
Yeah, no,
so it's impossible
now.
Yeah, Diana he's. I mean, when he's not offside, yeah, but
so it's. I think Bowyer said, they've got a massive. I mean, this might make you laugh. He said we've got a massive weapon up front.
Jesus Christ.
Just use it.
He is a bit of a weapon.
It's true, to be fair. Why have the best target man in the league if you're not going to use him properly? And and as much as I feel sorry for Sanchez, playing Alan Halilovic on the right when he's the best striker of the ball probably in the league, he literally played for Barcelona. Like, it's not stupid, is it, to get him to whip crosses in?
I think he was a bit. Go on, sorry, Charlotte.
I feel like from now you're only going to see improvements because a lot of your players, just from watching the past couple of seasons, they're confidence players. Yeah, and if Bowyer can get that back, with
including players that have come in,
yeah,
like Lecco.
True. If Bowyer can get players like Lecco firing, it's not then just got Sanchez, Halilovic, Bella, Jukovic as a front four. He's got options to sort of change games rather than bringing on centre backs.
And I was saying last week, I think I'm the only man in St Andrews that still thinks Lecco's got something to give. And he came on again on Saturday and caused problems. I mean,
he's still young as well. He's been around for years, but he is still young.
But I think it's difficult so he had a good run in the team in about December, and then he just drops you. And I feel like if that was me, I'm probably a confidence footballer. If I would just get dropped for playing well, it's hardly going to do you the world of good as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he smashed it under Bowyer for Charlton when he was out on loan from you last season, Jamie. I don't know if you saw it. I think he got 6 goals, 5 assists in half a season.
Yeah.
He's got something
to
injured,
give. Didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he's gone from a Premier League team, and it's credit to him because not many players want to do it. He's dropped down a league to try and get playing time, just to get a decent run finally in the first team at a decent level, just to be dropped.
I know.
Like, so you said, Charlie, he's still young. He's still what, 22?
I think he's 21. I think he's 21.
He's still really young, even though he's been around for seasons now. What it seems like, he broke into our team when Pulis was around, and then obviously we went down. He got loaned out. He's been around for a while, but he's still not going to be. He's not in his prime anywhere near. His prime,
they say players hit their prime. They say players hit their prime at 28, so he's got 7 years to hit his prime.
If we can keep him around as well, I'd really like to see him properly though, because I've seen glimpses of him, and I think that's where our fans are quite fickle because they've seen limited minutes of him. Really,
the only thing that annoys me about him, I don't know whether you can resonate with this, Dan, but he plays too much with his head down.
Yeah, he doesn't know when to release the ball.
Yeah, it's really, really frustrating to watch him. Like, he can get past 4 players, and then there'll be like a clear pass on for him, but he'll have his head down, he's always glued to his own feet, and that's his problem. And I think he doesn't know when to release it.
Where that's a con though, it's also
he's a pro at the same time. Yeah,
I think he doesn't know what he wants to do, and I think that
confuses people. Well, it is, but at the same time, he's got like.
Oh, it is so frustrating.
I mean, it happened against Watford, didn't it? Where there was a couple of times where he ran out of play. And
there was
a bit like...
once, but then I saw something from him that I hadn't seen from him all season. He picked the ball up, laid the ball off, Harper give it back, and he hit a switch. And I thought, oh my god, he's actually passed the ball. Like, I saw something from him that I haven't seen.
If he can get the right coaching now, like we said, still as a young player, and improve the correct areas of the game to make him a better winger and a better footballer, then he's got masses of talent to give and still could end up playing at a much better level than mid-table championship, which is where you'll probably be for the next couple of years. If he can get the right coaching and get a good run in your team, bag a couple of goals, bag a couple of assists, he'll be all right.
I'll give an arm and a leg to be mid-table championship.
Shows he's got the potential because he broke into West Brom's first team when he was 19 years old. So he must. Yeah. I mean, it shows that he's got the potential. He just needs to start like digging it in.
I think the guy to look out for is Harper. To be fair, I mean, he's had some torrid games.
I think he's a slightly bit older.
Is he a bit older?
Oh, he might be younger actually. Or that might be
he's
about
so
the same
good.
age. I think they came up at the same time.
He's
So they
so
could be
good.
the same age or 1 or 2 years below.
He's literally for years we've needed a midfielder who's big, good on the ball and off it, and he's fine. He's a bit like a worse version of Yokustu, Jamie. And I know
Yeah.
you probably haven't seen him that much, but off the ball in a 2, I thought he'd be a lot worse in a 2, but he breaks up the play so well.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's like I said to you when you signed him a couple of years ago, there was comparisons of Yaya Toure. And
does
he
play
was
a
the
very
next Yaya
similar way,
Toure.
but-
Obviously, he didn't quite reach that for us. And like we've said with Lecco, he's still got the potential to push on. Not that he's ever going to be the player Yaya Toure was, but he's got the
He
potential
could
to
definitely be a
something
squad
good.
player for you at minimum.
Yeah,
next season.
I think he will be next
Very
season.
good
Yeah.
footballer, which is a shame because it's one of them. I think we spoke about loan players that we don't want to give back a few weeks
Yeah,
ago, but
we've had too many.
I don't want to give him back. He's so
well.
good.
He's. I think he's definitely going to be coming back, isn't he? So, like you said on Saturday, we had I think it was us. I don't know who was there.
It was your loan manager.
Yeah, loan manager was there.
Yeah, so he was probably our brightest player on the ball again. Yeah, it's a big 2 weeks, and the other night we played 23s, but we didn't play 23s. We decided to put the whole first team in.
Yeah, we had the same.
did that.
I saw a couple of, because obviously he's probably gone and watched a couple of players that aren't in the first team that I thought are probably better than some of the first teamers. Like we've got the lad we signed from Man City, Kendra Simmons. He should be in and around the team. He's far better than Hogan, I think.
Maybe there's a chance he will though. Now that Bowyer's come in.
Bowyer did the same at Charlton. I don't know if you know the name, Alfie Doherty. Alfie Doherty, is that his name?
Yeah, I recognise the name.
He brought him through. I think he's brought a fair few of them through, so hopefully he gives them a chance. But the problem is at the moment is that we're in a scrap, so
you can't be taking
true.
risks.
Yeah, true.
I think if we got to a point where, the Rotherham game in 2 or 3 weeks is huge. I think if we beat them, we'll be okay. And after that, I want to start seeing sort of an experiment with the team. Because once I know we're safe, I think Rotherham will struggle, to be honest. It came out today that the EFL aren't going to let them extend their season, so they're going to have to play 4 games in a week at some point.
Yeah, we discussed this before, didn't we? That's going to be so hard for them.
Yeah,
but the games they've got as well, they're going to. I can't see them getting out of it.
I will wear a Cov shirt for your game against them. If you finish above us because you win that game, I don't care.
I think it's. We have to stick together now. We have to just hope
we are
Sheffield
literally
Wednesday
teaming up against Rotherham.
just fall off now. Wickham are gone. Wickham are long gone, but Sheffield Wednesday and Rotherham are the only teams that are going to go down if it's not us two.
And they both won on Saturday.
Yeah, so we're going to have to sort of just band together.
We're becoming one.
Oh no!
You do play at the same ground.
Play at the same ground.
Play at the same ground
as well.
Should we move on? Charlie, I don't know if you want to talk about Cov for a bit, or do you want to move on to England?
Well, it was a 0-0 on the weekend against the worst team in the league. Didn't you draw 0-0 to them as well towards the start of the season? Or was it
no, we drew 0-0 to them about February, and we lost 2-1 the other game.
Oh,
it's just. The thing is, every point matters at this stage of the season because, the position we're in, a point against anyone is a good point. Anything that will take our point tally up is good. But the way we played was just so boring. Like against Wickham, if that game was last season, we would have approached that like we were Man City and they were like Forest Green Rovers, because we were playing with so much confidence and we had pretty much the exact same squad, if not a worse squad. But for some reason this time we decided to just sort of sit back and not play our usual game, like the high press and the quick football, like utilising O'Hara and Hamer and Biamu, the fast football they can play. But it's just getting a bit repetitive. Like we beat Brentford 2-0, we draw to Wickham 0-0. Like we need to, if we're going to stay up, we have to start getting consistent results.
That's the Championship in a nutshell, though.
Yeah, it
really is.
It's so
You're really similar to what we were under Rowett, where you'd absolutely hammer someone, and then 2 weeks later you'd find yourself like tearing your hair out because why is it not happening again? But I think it comes down to quality, to be honest.
Yeah,
that happens again. Every team in the Championship.
You can't deny it. You can't deny that we are the third worst team in the league. I'd say
on paper.
Yeah, but it just goes to show again how big the leap is from League One to the Championship, and how so many teams are sure to do it. Like Burton completely romped League One. I think they won the league with about 4 or 5 games to go. Came up and were so poor and went straight back down, and now they're in trouble in League One. But if we can stay up this season, we can then build off that. And any point's a good point as far as I'm concerned.
I think it's quality and quality in depth, because you look at Watford, Norwich, I'd say slightly Brentford, but not to the same extent. They've got people who can rotate in and out of the team. So if someone is having a bad game, you've got a direct replacement who's as good. So like Watford
striker options are just...
Watford bought an Andre Gray when they were 2-0 up, and I was like, what's the point?
And Dean, injured as well. They've got him to come back.
It's ridiculous.
João Pedro.
By the way, João Pedro is the best footballer I've seen play against us all season.
He's ridiculous. I've only watched him a couple of times. That game on Saturday was like one of the couple of times I've watched him.
That's the first time I've properly watched him for 90 minutes. Oh my God. He just ran the show.
He just like I said to you, though, it's similarity to what they had with Richarlison. I can see, like, when they're going to go up, I think. I can see
those two up top now have gone clear. They're fine.
And I think he'll be a lot like what Richarlison was like for them in the Premier League.
Yeah, definitely.
I think similar to Deulofeu as well.
He's a class player. He's versatile as well. He can play on the wing or he can play centrally.
Yeah.
He's
for 8 million as well. I know it sounds like a lot to us two, but 8 million for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It shows though that if you go down and keep your players, you have got more than a massive chance of coming back up. Like Bournemouth got rid of King, got rid of Wilson. They've struggled. They've struggled for goals. They're playing Billing in the number 10 because they're struggling for
I really like Billing as well.
Any sort of attack. I do as well, but
he's not
the way
No,
I mean, Norwich and Watford have kept their players and they're going to go straight back up. I mean, we discussed it last week, but if they both stay up for one season, Watford will do what they did last time and stay up for 3 or 4. I don't know about Norwich because, like we discussed, Cantwell and Pookie are not Premier League players, but they're too good to be Championship players.
Yeah,
if they can actually improve their squad and improve around those players, then they'll be all right. But
that's a weird one, isn't it? That you'd look at both of those two squads and you'd say that out of the two, Watford have probably got more of a Premier League squad than Norwich.
But to be fair,
it's just weird how it works.
I think it's down to manager. Since that Siska came in, I think they've got more points than Norwich.
Yeah, true.
It's down to, like, Daniel Farker is a very good manager at Championship level. He's just not been given the resources when he goes up.
Yeah, exactly. Like they went up and did. Yeah,
they spent 40 million or something, didn't they?
Yeah, it shows.
I think less.
I can't even remember who they signed. Who did they even sign with that?
They signed
someone for about 20 odd, didn't they?
They signed that guy on a free, Dermich, and he scored 5.
Yeah.
They scored 5. He scored 5 in a pre-season friendly, and everyone thought he was going to be a world beater. And
I'm
then
sure they signed someone for 20 odd. I'm sure they did.
They must have signed a couple of people.
They got Farman on loan, didn't they? From Schalke.
I forgot they got Farman. Yeah,
and then
they made some really odd signings.
Yeah.
But
they just have to be smart with their recruitment, and they'll both be all right when they go.
I think Bournemouth would have been up there with them, but they hired Jason Tyndall, who was a failure, and now they've got Jonathan Woodgate. They just haven't, and now they're outside the playoffs.
It's a lack of ambition, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they are a tiny club.
They are.
And
they're small as Brentford.
I'd probably say smaller, maybe.
Smaller.
Yeah.
Brentford are a London club. They've got a little bit more of a pull.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just they need to sort of act beyond their means and sort of realise that they have got the potential to push and become a decent, well, not decent, but a side like a yo-yo club that can continuously be in the Prem, in the Championship, in the Prem. But they have to sort of realise that they need to keep hold of the players that do well in the Prem to be able to do that, like Wilson, who would have carried on this season if they kept him. But I mean, it just shows the difference in club size, because Watford have got that pool to be able to keep players like João Pedro, who could have gone to, I don't know, probably a Chelsea or anywhere like that for about 40, 50 million, but they managed to keep him.
With Bournemouth, even if they do get rid of the players like you've just said, Callum Wilson, reinvest it. Like, as far as I'm aware, they didn't really reinvest it. Like, who have they bought this season?
I mean, they've got Dan
replaced Callum Wilson.
They've got Danjuma. They signed last
season. He was there last season.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of who they've got up front. I don't know who their number 9 is.
He was there last season
exactly.
as well. They didn't replace Wilson, did they? They kind of thought they must have thought they had the replacement in Solanke, which, to be fair, I would have thought that he would have got 20-odd goals this season as well.
The issue they've had, though, is that their defensive options, like their two centre-halves, are so outable. Like, if I was a striker, I'd be licking my lips against them because they're so slow at the back.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Like, Ake, they sold Ake for 40 million. Why not?
Where's that gone?
Yeah, it can't have gone that far. Like, we sold Jude for 15 million less, and we reinvested more money than Bournemouth in the summer.
That's what I mean. They just don't reinvest. They've not reinvested what they've bought
Unless
in.
They've been hit incredibly by COVID.
But that, like we said, they are a tiny club. So for a club like that to get however much they've got from sales in the past year or two is probably it probably does just get reinvested.
And surely Parachute.
From why? Well, yeah.
Did you not get parachutes this year? They must have got some sort of.
Did parachute payments stop?
They stalled, but they still got. They would have got a payment for just play because you get a payment for placing somewhere in the Prem.
Yeah.
Just generally, so they've clearly got the money, unless they're planning to do a big sort of overhaul because they've hired Harry Redknapp as director of football. So I mean, if he gets his hands on some of the money.
Fuck, it'll be
welcome to FFP.
If he gets first choice on some of the transfers, you'll have Nico Cranchard pulling the strings.
Yeah, Cranchard will be the first signing here.
Peter Crouch will stop his podcast. Go and play up front.
He probably would. He'd probably do a better job than Solanke in the Championship.
I think like Redknapp was on that podcast, and I think Crouch should still do a job in the Championship for someone.
Yeah, I reckon.
I think he would, Jamie. 2 years ago, you've got to think he scored a couple of goals for Burnley in the Prem.
I think Defoe would do a better job in the Championship.
Defoe's still doing
but Defoe's a difficult one because.
Why though? I think he's better than Crouch.
In the Championship, a lot of it's hoofball. Crouch would cause some.
Yeah, that is true, but come on.
I'll take Crouch on a free in the summer.
Well, bloody hell, it says a lot about Blues at the minute.
Imagine Crouch and Jukovic up front. Oh my God, we'd be incredible.
Millwall
V2. The ball wouldn't touch the floor if you had Jukovic and Crouch up front.
Oh, man.
We'd play one bounce.
There'd be no bounce like it was against. Who was that clip against?
Oh, Barnsley.
That was horrible. That was.
That was Cranker's last game, I think.
That was
the Blues players just taking a piss out of him, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're probably just thinking, just fuck it.
Let's just play Kirby.
I was surprised Dean didn't turn around, just smash one in the top corner past Ezra.
Yeah.
We'll get on to England because I feel like we've spoken about the Championship for a good half an hour. So San Marino, I think we've got Poland, and one other team that we should absolutely murder. And I'm relatively excited only because Jude's in the team. So I wouldn't be watching San Marino tomorrow. But
when I think we were all on the call when the 21 squad got announced, and you were surprised that Bellingham wasn't in that. And instantly I was like, that it's going to be in the senior squad.
I did think, to be fair, I thought taking him to the under 21 Euros would be just a shoe-in because obviously he only got called up on a replacement last time.
So our games are San Marino on Thursday, Albania away on Sunday, and then Poland at home on Wednesday.
Poland's the only
Poland's the only
just because they've got Lewandowski. They haven't got anyone else. They've got probably Linetti.
Huh? He scored a hat-trick last time on their last international duty.
Who did they play?
I don't know. He scored a hat-trick, Dan. So what's your issue?
I haven't got an issue with Grosicki. I'm just saying is he on the level?
He can't even get into the West Brom side. He can't even get into the West Brom 18. Never mind.
Rather Sam Johnson on the left.
I mean,
Sam Johnson. That's a great way to say, Dan. Congratulations to Sam Johnson.
Congratulations to Sam Johnson. He deserves
massively deserved call-up.
He deserved it. He deserves to start as well. Because out of the three keepers, I mean, we'll do our preferred lineup for these. Probably some slight bias in there.
I mean, the thing is though, with Johnson, I'm seeing so many people on Twitter. He's conceded the most goals in the Prem, but he's made the most saves.
That's people that don't watch the games.
He's got Shuckle brothers at centre back.
I just can't. It's just. I just hate scrolling through Twitter and seeing certain people's opinions on certain aspects of football.
It's like when you see certain teams like target who they should be targeting in the summer. So like for you, Charlie, Sam Johnson would be a great. I don't know. I've seen today that apparently Lloris is considering he's considering his options about leaving the club. But
I mean, they're looking at that. what's his name? That Minion from
from Ren.
Yeah,
is
it
he
Ren?
from Ren?
Mike Mannion.
Is
Yeah, him. Wherever he's from.
Yeah.
I think he's from Lille.
As a
I think it's
replacement.
Lille.
Oh, Lille.
No,
Yeah,
it is
from
Lille because Sacramento said he wanted him
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
because he was obviously assistant there before. But Johnston's already got Premier League experience and he's young English.
Yeah, I'm sure he's only like 28.
The issue is with Johnson
like that.
is he's going to be expensive because he's English.
But the thing is, Dan, we're going
West Brom
down,
go
so
down,
we can't
it's
demand
not-
much. And it's his last.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the last year of his contract. I'm pretty
think
sure
if-
next year is the last year.
Lloris is still in. I mean, especially in the French league, he would still be a world-class keeper for them. So we're not going to get anything less than 20 mil from him unless I don't know how long he's got left in his contract. But reinvesting that back in Johnson, I feel like we could take Johnson off you for 20 mil.
I think a lot of West Ham fans are saying they want
100%.
Johnson as well. I'm not saying
If it's the last year of his contract next year, then there's a massive. Once it hits once you're in the last year of your contract, that's where the club's got to kind of just take whatever they get offered.
Well,
Because they can't make many
like
demands, can they?
You either
if
try and get him
he-
back or you sell him.
Yeah,
No, I
exactly.
don't think he'll want to stay because if he's now in and around the England squad,
Yeah.
he won't get in the
100%.
He wants
squad
to
in the
keep his place.
Championship.
100%.
Well, we've got the World Cup next year. He won't want to find Championship when a World Cup's a
100%.
year
Because
and a
it
half
will
away.
because Henderson's now back at United, the go-to three will be Pickford, Pope, Henderson, but Johnson will go sort of hang on, I'm better than all three of these, and he'll want to
This
stay
season
in
he
the
has been
Prem.
as well.
I think he's a better goalkeeper.
season he
He's a
really
better
has been.
goalkeeper.
He might not be as good with his feet, but I don't
That's what
think
I was
the
about
other
to
two
say.
are. I don't think the other two are great with
I
their
don't think
feet.
Pope is.
Yeah.
I think Pickford's good with
all
his
right
feet.
with his feet. But
Pickford's got good kicking, but whether he's good with the ball at his feet is a different
Yeah.
story. But Johnson looks comfortable. And
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
He plays
the
at Man
most important
United.
thing.
You've got to be comfortable to play
Yeah.
at Man United.
Mm.
Even if it's just the academy level, they'll still try and play out from the back. So he must know how to pass
yeah,
it.
I mean, he plays out the back for West Brom. When I mean, the last couple of, like I said, the last couple of seasons in the Championship, we've been playing it out the back, and obviously it has caused errors every now and then. But
That's
when you've
because
got
of the
better
centre-backs
players in
you've
front
got.
of you, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. When you've got
give and
better players
take.
in front of you, then it's going to be a lot easier for him. He's going to be
Especially
more
Stones.
comfortable. Yeah.
And with that, I think, I mean, does anyone want to go first there?
So
I need to check the squads.
before we go on to teams, the actual squad itself, how Eric Dyer is in this squad
Oh,
is
yeah.
an absolute
It's an
disgrace.
embarrassment. It's
Ben
an
Godfrey must be like,
It makes me feel
Maltese.
sick. Ben Godfrey must have been born in the Isle of Wight. He must be playing for the Isle of Wight national team. I swear to God, there's no other
So this-
explanation as to why he's not been picked.
The centre back options aren't great, are they? Really, but I mean, obviously, it is only for qualifiers, so that it's not going to be the same. There's not going to be the same players that are called up for the actual tournament.
I mean, as a three, looking at this, as a three, I'd happily play Walker, Stones, and Maguire. Stones and Maguire.
Why don't you go for a back
either side.
five?
I've got another issue actually with centre backs, and this is me being unbiased. So hear me out. Why is Mings in the team and not Konsa?
Oh mate, Mings. Oh,
Even Villa fans are saying,
Yeah,
picking up on that.
how is Mings in the team?
Mings is such a bad player.
He's so overrated. Genuinely,
It's actually annoying.
people that are like, I don't know how to call it, because
I think it's
Charlie's
favouritism.
a fan of a top six club, but Charlie has footballing knowledge. People like top six fans think Mings is this like be all and end all greatest left-footed centre back of all time just because they've seen him.
Yeah,
make some good
it's like
blocks. He's suspect.
You'll see Spurs fans on Twitter say, "Oh, we have to sign Mings. We have to break the bank to sign Mings." But then there's more Spurs fans saying, "No, Konsa is a much better option. He's a better footballer. I'm sure he's younger."
He's young.
Yeah, he's younger.
I'm sure Konsa's only like 23, isn't it?
He's about,
and
Mings is 27, 28.
To sign for a top 16, you have to be comfortable on the ball. Mings looks far from comfortable on the ball.
Mings is awful. Mings
He's always
is an
got a
awful
mistake in him
player.
as well. Always.
Yeah.
Whereas
And-
Konsa looks calm, collected.
I was listening to Charlie Austin on Talksport, and he was talking about when he played for QPR when they went down, and he finished fourth top scorer in the league, and it was only I think he said Sanchez, Costa, and Aguero that were ahead of him, and he got picked but didn't play, and he brought up Bamford, and he said that if Bamford was playing for a team that was in the top half, there's no way that he doesn't get picked.
Yeah.
Looking at this, he's been better this season than Watkins, without a shadow of a doubt.
Every stat as well. I'm not a stat man, but every goal, every assist chart, every goals per
But
game.
just because Villa are, they're not even doing that well. I think they're 11th at the minute.
They're one place above Leeds.
Yeah, but
Bamford's been far more consistent.
Because in a worse team as
more.
well. Bamford doesn't have Grealish behind him putting the ball on the plate, and Barkley, both players that could be.
He does have Rafinha though, who is an absolute.
That's true.
Player, man.
But I don't know. It's just if Bamford was knocking them in the way he's knocking them in for Leeds, for Chelsea, or for Man City, or for anyone in the top 8, there's no way he doesn't get picked.
Yeah,
but because he's playing for Leeds, and on paper Villa have had a stereotypically good season, Watkins is in there.
By the way, I know this is maybe there's slight bias to this. I don't think I'm very biased against Villa. I think Watkins has been average this season. He's got 10 goals.
Yeah,
he's not impressed. I've not watched him and thought, bloody hell, he should be playing for England.
It's like I said, I think he's been quite inconsistent at times. Where there's been runs of games where he's looked like a very good striker, and you thought what they've paid them money's worth for him. But then there's been games where you think, like, come on, they could have got a better striker for how much they paid.
I mean, in November,
knock his inconsistencies on their head.
November, December time, where Villa were on fire, but they were up in the top 6. He was on fire. But now that Grealish is out of the team, it's sort of proving that is he an all-round striker? Not really, because I think the difference.
I think he is a better winger.
Yeah, so do I. The difference between him and and I'm going to bring this up. I'm not saying the person I'm bringing up is as good as him, but just the play style. When we had Che, he'd create goals on his own, and I think to be a top striker, you have to create goals on your own. Watkins clearly can't do it.
Yeah,
without Grealish, he hasn't scored.
Do you think the fact that it's because there's like a different style of striker, each striker that's been called up there?
Maybe.
So like you look at Calvert-Lewin, and he's very good at holding it up. He's good in the air. You look at Kane, who's very, like I was about to say, Bamford, who's quite similar to Kane. Obviously not nowhere near as good, but similar style of striker.
Bit of an all-rounder.
Yeah. And then you've got Watkins, who runs the channels. He hounds at defenders. I think that could come down to a bit of the reason. But
the bigger issue for me is looking at the midfielders in the team. So Bellingham, Foden, Lingard, Mount, Phillips, Rice, and Ward-Prowse all deserve call-ups without a shadow of a doubt. You have to think. I mean, these would probably count as midfielders. Grealish probably would. Maddison,
Barnes. Does Barnes count as a midfielder? No, you'd take Barnes as a forward, wouldn't you?
Forward.
But the thing is, who do you drop? Sancho isn't in the squad.
For Barnes, I'd drop Saka for Barnes, 100%. I know
so
Saka
unfortunate, man.
I know it's unfortunate, but Barnes I'd drop
Watkins for Barnes
this season.
I'd drop Dyer for Barnes.
I'd drop just completely scrap all the centre backs. No, I'd drop Watkins for Barnes only because Rashford could be the third choice striker.
For me, on this list of forwards, a fully fit Barnes has been better than every single one of them apart from Kane this season.
I'd argue Calvert-Lewin.
Calvert-Lewin is very influential to Everton for me.
Yeah, he is, but I think Barnes has had a better season.
It's difficult to compare them, though.
It is. I know it is, but in terms of... Yeah, I suppose.
All well and good.
I'm just saying who's had a better season.
It's all well and good as sitting here talking about who's having a better season because that's how it should be picked. But Southgate doesn't work that way. As long as Raheem Sterling and Marcus Rashford are walking the planet, they get picked, no matter how poor they've been.
You know what? I give Rashford a lot of slack only because I know how good he could be. He could genuinely be.
The thing is, though, he's not showing it.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's my issue. And like, I think a lot of people. We watch a lot of football-based videos. I think all three of us. A lot of people like Rashford, but he's not proved anything to me.
I'd have this season. I know he's been called up for the 21s, but I'd have Dwight McNeil over Rashford in the squad at the minute.
I thought you were going to say Greenwood. I'd have Greenwood. I'd have taken Greenwood.
I'd probably have them both. Just as it stands right now in this squad, not the Euros, just this squad for these 3 games. I'd call up McNeil.
But that's like England squads should be called upon from their form in the league at that time of call-up.
What I'd do is I'd put Rashford in the 21s and help him win the Euros.
Yeah, just winning the Euro. We should have just done that. Just dropped all our 21s down because we'd actually smash Bellingham. Everyone.
How old?
Saka?
Saka should have been. He would have been in there if he didn't get called up for the first team.
Mate, if we just
That
Reece James is
would
under
have been
21,
unfair. That would have.
we could have actually just
That would
trounced
have
them.
just
I mean,
been unfair.
we can talk about that next week because obviously the 21s Euro Championship start next week.
Yeah,
And-
I need to look when the games
I
are.
think
'cause
they start
wouldn't
this
mind
week, don't
I think
they?
they start this week.
I think
it's
England play
Friday.
tomorrow.
England's.
Oh, is it tomorrow?
Is it
They play
tomorrow or is it
tomorrow.
next
I'm pretty
Thursday?
sure let's play tomorrow.
England
Against...
first team play tomorrow. So unless we
check.
play tomorrow afternoon and then
I'll
England.
check.
not
I'm
sure.
pretty sure they play tomorrow.
But yeah, for me, midfield wise, I mean, I'd love it. I mean, you two know, I'd love it if
Yeah,
they
they play tomorrow.
Euros. It'd be incredible for me
Yeah.
to see a year
mean-
on. I called it. I'm not gonna lie. I always said next year he could be going. If he'll go to the Euros if he has a good season, and so far he showed up.
They play Switzerland tomorrow at 2 p.m.
I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch that. The thing is, though, that's frustrating from our point of view, and it's going to be hard for Southgate, is now you've got players like Lingard coming back in who weren't even in the same
In the
breath
question,
of people
yeah.
like of the names on this list. And now he's got such a hard choice because you can't leave Lingard out.
If imagine in January you'd have told us three that
My
Lingard
God.
would be in the next England team.
I would have. To be fair, I would have probably believed you on the grounds of the fact that it's just
Yes, Southgate.
that's how England squads are picked normally, aren't
Yeah.
they? Just pick the better names that have been in there before. And
Definitely.
For me,
it's like Maguire realistically shouldn't
Oh,
be.
there's so. I keep forgetting how many players have been left out. Henderson, where does he fit back in on
he's
this
injured,
list?
isn't
Exactly.
he? Oh yeah, well he's injured, isn't he? But I mean, it's unfortunate. I'm going with my bias. Henderson should be in over Jude, really, if I wasn't being biased. But
Yeah.
if I was taking this team to the Euros, I'd probably put him in over Calvin Phillips, only because
Yeah,
Phillips is the exact same type of player.
Yeah,
as
they
ours.
are. They're the exact same players.
we need Ward-Prowse in the squad just for free kicks because if Harry Kane goes anywhere near those free kicks, I'll turn off the TV.
But I think if we have Rashford in the team, Rashford can strike a ball.
So
I
what
can't
are
see
your two's
Rashford starting, though.
ideal lineups?
With
Are
this
we,
current squad,
the thing is, though,
Yeah.
are we going to go? Our ideal lineup against San Marino this.
But that's
tomorrow,
what I mean.
Or are we going to do our strongest lineup on?
well, I think
from the squad.
because we're playing before we record the next pod, we'll play San Marino and Albania. So those two games are, I mean, they may as well not turn up.
Put out the under 21s.
Yeah, well, my team for those two games, and then next week we'll do our team for Poland because realistically that should be our team.
So if we do next week our team for the Poland game, this week we'll just do the teams we want to see against Albania and San Marino.
Yeah, so I'd go probably Johnson in goal, Reece James right back. I'd go 4-2-3-1 by the way. I know he won't. He definitely won't, but that's what I'd do. Chilwell left back. Oh no, Shaw left back. Reece James right back. The centre back options are absolutely. I'd go probably Stones and Cody.
Yeah.
If I was to pick two at the moment, I don't think Cody's deserved a call up. If I'm being honest,
I don't think he has either. But
over Godfrey and Keane,
out of him and Maguire to choose out of them two, him, Maguire, and Ming. Sorry,
and Dyer.
I'm picking Cody. I'm picking
Cody. My centre backs, by the way, would have been Stones, Cody, Godfrey, Keane. I think. And Conser if we were to take a fifth.
Yeah, I mean, I
think Godfrey's really, really good. Like England legend.
Yeah.
I think Southgate gets away with putting Walker in because everyone sees him as a fullback, but I don't think Southgate does. I think Southgate would rather play Trippier there and have Walker as the right-sided centre back.
There's better right backs now that England can choose from, but than Walker, and that's not a discredit to Walker because I think Walker is still a class right back, but I think he's probably better suited in the England squad to be a centre back. When obviously we know that Southgate's going to play five at the back, so for that system, I should probably
go
well.
five then, shouldn't I? Realistically,
go with what he's going to play.
So
he's going to play that.
I'll go Johnston, Chilwell left wing back, Reece James right wing back, and then a back three of Cody, Stones, Walker. Two in the middle. I'd probably go Rice and Bellingham. No, I wouldn't. I'd go Rice and Foden probably because against these two teams, realistically, we're not going to need two holders, and Bellingham sits more. So I'd go Rice and Foden, and then front three. I know you don't want Kane to play Charlie because he'll probably break both of his ankles, but I'd go Saka, Rashford, Kane.
The thing is, for me, I don't think I'd want to play a front three in that system. I
don't know.
know.
I quite like a fluid 3.
I don't
What
know,
would you
because with the
prefer,
wing
Charles?
backs, I think
Yeah, I
I'd
suppose
rather
the wing
have,
backs offer you a lot of the width, so you could play more central backs.
I would rather have a flat 3 at the back, attacking wing backs, and Rice holding, and then when they attack, Rice drops back into a 4, and Walker then goes as the right back.
Oh
And
yeah, that
then
makes sense. To be fair,
sort of it's just a fluid transition rather than the wing backs just going up and down the whole time. They can sort of focus on attacking, because we're not going to need wing backs who are tracking back all the time, as well as 2 holding midfielders, which is what he likes to play against a team like San Marino or anyone that we should play, really. Because on paper, apart from probably Spain, Germany, Belgium, France, we should be beating everyone with the squad we've got.
I wouldn't even
playing
include
attacking
Spain in that.
football.
I think we have a better team than
Yeah,
Spain. I look at
Spain-
Spain's team.
definitely.
I
Spain.
think Netherlands are more
Yeah,
dangerous.
Rodrigo's their
100%,
first choice
100%.
striker. So for me, just for the team I'd like to see against the weaker opposition, I'd go Johnson in goal, obviously, because it's just for his debut. Chilwell's better than Shaw in an attacking role for me.
Oh yeah, I'll put
That's on
Chilwell
the
in. I'd
left.
probably go Shaw. I just because I want to see Shaw as at England level.
Yeah, I'd rather see Chilwell against Poland. I'd have Shaw, Maguire as a central centre back, Walker on the right, and probably Cody on the left.
No Stones.
Oh,
I'm
you saving him for
I think
Poland?
yeah,
Yeah.
Stones is our best centre back in my opinion.
But
And then Trippier right back. I want to sort of try and rotate, because I don't think Southgate does it enough when it comes to international.
true. The thing is, though,
to be
with
fair, you probably just play the
team-
weakest squads against these two, Albania and San Marino.
if it's
wouldn't
a
you?
team you'd
I
like
mean,
to see,
I
I
wanna-
like watching Reece James as a
Yeah.
footballer.
I want to see Trippier just because I like seeing him volley crosses. But I'd agree with you in midfield, Rice and Bellingham, because I'd have Trippier and Shaw as very, very attacking wing backs, sort of as wingers, and then have Rice sitting in and Bellingham as a box to box, sort of controlling the tempo, which is what he's doing for Dortmund at the minute.
Something I think Mount's done very well this
think
season
Mount's
for
really
Chelsea
adapted
as
to-
well.
Yeah,
In that system, I'd go Foden as a 10, and then go
I'd go if you're going to go 2 up front.
Kane.
I'd go Kane and Rashford, because I think they're
Kane and
the
Rashford,
two
'cause-
most sort of dissimilar strikers.
Plus, then that
Do you know what?
4-3 could go into like a transitional wing.
I might-
Then
Yeah,
Rashford and Foden could play as
can
wingers.
split. Yeah,
I'd like to see Saka play left wing back if we're going to play an
Mm,
attacking.
yeah. To be fair, if
yeah,
you're playing
if
more
you're playing
attacking, and you're basically playing him as a left midfielder,
Because I don't think he fits in. Because I'd rather have Foden and Sterling in that position, like as a out and out winger on the left hand side. Anyway, I think I'd rather have Saka as that sort of versatile option. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'd go.
he's always been called up. To be fair, because he can do it.
Yeah,
Defensively, he's very good. Like,
I mean the thing is, this. I mean, if he doesn't play, if he doesn't feature in all 3 games, what's the point? Because now we can't play in the Euros for the 21.
oh yeah. So him and Bellingham realistically should feature because they've been left out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will. They will definitely.
But yeah,
It's
I'd go-
San Marino and Albania. Like we could
I'd go with
feature.
that sort of.
I think you know. What?
Well, I probably
I'd
couldn't because I don't think I'm
do you
think-
eligible for the England squad. But
Do you think us 3 could get into the San Marino team if we were?
100%,
Yeah,
Do you
the
think we
San
would?
Marino, team.
they're full of
think
like doctors and engineers and like,
95% of them football isn't even their primary source of income.
yeah, teachers. Like
Yeah, plumbers, electricians, everything.
We should really find out
how much
how
San
San
Marino we are.
Marinian we are.
Yeah, go on an ancestry website and see if
This is not a sponsored podcast.
Do you reckon you would
Yeah.
genuinely get like if
Vatican
you
City or something.
sent them a video of like some of your clips throughout the years?
Yeah,
and, like,
Like, if I sent him,
do you
if I
reckon they'd
sent
genuinely be like, "Okay, come
Gibraltar,
for a
if I sent a
training session, we'll
Gibraltar
see
that
what
video
you
I've got of me at Power League, they'd have me. I reckon.
I'd go to Aston Power League, retrieve the footage of my flip flap, send it off to the Gibraltar embassy, and get a trial.
It's like, I mean, I mentioned it to you. Those non-FIFA teams, so like,
Yeah,
I think like Fiji. Just send them to all of them.
Yeah, but obviously you need to know whether you're Fijian or like whether I don't know what
I mean,
they're
they can
called.
bend the rules. They can bend the
Fijians,
rules.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not. They're not even
Yeah, what
FIFA
they're
registered,
called.
Jamie. I reckon I'll just get in. Tuvalu, the Tuvalu Nationals. Tuvalu are doing trials on Twitter. It's just enter.
What would your 11 then be, Jamie, for this?
So
for
mine
these
would
next 2
be
games?
I'd go with Sam Johnston. I'd probably go I'll go 5-2-3, just knowing that is what he's going to play.
Yeah.
So I mean he's got no other options.
Southgate's going to play with
But
2
he's got
holding
options,
midfielders,
but
and it's going to make
He's
me
got
feel
loads
sick.
of options. He's
He's
just
got
decided
options.
he's not going to
just
do
really stubborn. So I'd go Johnston, Chilwell left wing back. I'd go with Cody Stones and Walker, and then I'd go with Reece James. Midfield 2, I'd go with Rice and Mount. So I think Mount. I really do enjoy watching Mount. He's played. I think this season as well. He's played in a 2 quite a lot, like a sitting 2 with 3 in front of him. So I think he's done it really well this season. So I'd like to see him in a midfield 2, and then I'd go with Kane, Saka, and Rashford.
Pretty much the same as mine. Then,
Would you start Foden against Poland?
Yeah, I'd go Foden against Poland instead of probably Rashford.
So yours exactly the same as mine, but I've gone
actually probably instead of Saka.
Bellingham instead of Mount.
But that's because you enjoy
the talent we've got. Is
That's bias. That's complete bias. But the thing I like about what Bellingham and Mount bring similarly, I know they're quite different players, but they always want to go forward. I think we've had a lot.
I think they've been quite similar this season, though. I think they've played a similar role this season.
For me, it was either Bellingham or Mount, but I think Mount is the stronger player, and I'd rather have him in the more important games as such.
I think he's more versatile as well.
I do like seeing Bellingham play. I mean,
I can't wait.
I can't lie. It's frustrating that he's not in the 21s because that squad is so exciting.
It's different level, that England under 21 team. Jesus.
I can't wait to watch them because some of the talent they've got is an absolute joke. I feel like if we don't win that, it's a failure.
It's kind of frightening.
Yeah.
I'll try and find the squad list.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look for it. I know.
Jamie, keep them entertained.
No, what do you want to do? Dance?
I found it. So
send it to me.
I'll just put a picture in the group chat, but
pop it up on screen as well, Dan.
It's on the screen.
The viewers
now.
They probably already know, obviously, but
yeah, just for visual reference. I mean, they would have watched the first game by now.
Jesus Christ! And the fact that, by the way, Ben Godfrey's under 21.
Is he in the squad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. That's where it's a weird one, isn't it? Because if he's not gonna, if he's featuring for them instead, did they just why is that not the case with?
But then if he's why haven't they just?
Why have they not?
What formation do
they play? Senior squad.
I don't know, but if I was to pick a team just quickly, Ramsdale, Aaron's, Godfrey, Tanganga, Sessegnon, Davis, Gallagher, Eze, Greenwood, Hudson-Odoi, and Nketiah. That is a
Jones wouldn't make it.
Oh, Jones. I'd probably drop.
This is the first time
Gallagher, which is harsh.
This is the first time I can remember in so long having the dilemma of picking a squad because the players are so good, not so shit. Like we used to pick England squads based on who was the best out of a bad
the least shit.
Yeah, but now looking at this 21 squad, I would be happy with this squad going to the World Cup.
That'd win our Euro group. That team.
Yeah, actually would.
It's some of the individual, but not just like as a team, individual talent.
Yeah,
like Eze.
But they're all players that are already tearing up in the Prem. Like Madueke for PSV as well has been one of the hottest strikers in Europe so far this season.
I've heard he's good at Leicester. To be fair, that's a cultural reference.
Josh Griffiths as well, the goalkeeper. It's his first England under 21 call up West Brom.
Oh, is he a West Brom?
Well, he's on loan at Cheltenham, but he's West Brom's player. So.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have a clue who the other keepers were, other than
he could be our backup keeper next season. To be honest, if we lose Johnston and we recall Alex Palmer as our starting 11 goalkeeper and have him as our backup,
we've got a lad, 17, who was our first team goalkeeper all of pre-season. Then he broke his leg in 3 places, but he He's really, really good. And now
The thing
for
is
some
with this
reason, his
squad,
name's gone out of my mind.
this 21 squad, you could have two very, very, very heavily rotated 11s, and they'd probably still be just as strong as each other. Like you mentioned, your midfield of Davis, Gallagher, Eze, a midfield of Skip, Gallagher, Jones is just as strong. And
I've left out Curtis Jones by accident. I kind of forgot he's
it's like the
literally one of the
front
best
three.
talents in England.
Who did you have in your front three?
Smith Rowe and Ketia. No, I didn't have Smith Rowe. I had Greenwood and Ketia, Hudson-Odoi.
Having Madueke, Smith Rowe, and Brewster is probably at that level just as strong. It's still a front three that should be tearing apart whoever they play against.
Greenwood, Hudson-Odoi, and Ketia is absolutely just different level.
Yeah.
Like Hudson-Odoi.
But the thing is, though, they're three players who are already knocking on the door for the senior squad. If we didn't have the talent like Rashford, Sancho, etc., 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 then they would be in the squad.
Is Sancho under 21 still?
Might be.
Is Sancho injured?
He might be
is that why he's not
21.
been called up?
Yeah, he is injured.
He might be just 21.
So yeah, he's 20.
He's 20.
So Sancho from the senior team, Sancho, Bellingham, Saka, James could have all dropped down if they wanted to. And Rashford. Is Rashford 22?
I think so.
But regardless, imagine Sancho in the under 21
where they're allowed like one under 23 or something like that. I swear there's like certain rules.
There used to be. I don't know whether they still can, but imagine Sancho in an under 21 Euros. Oh my god!
They might as well just forfeit it now. The
thing is,
give them the trophy.
I think, and this is probably with an ounce of bias. I think us and France are the two most sort of dominant countries in the world in terms of footballing talent. Because France, you've got to think France would have dropped Camavinga down to the 21s if they wanted to, and he's literally the best youngster in the world currently.
I think Netherlands have always got good youngsters coming up as well. I mean, it's a credit to Ajax's youth system and it as like the quality of player they've.
I mean, they've got at
the
moment they've got Gravenberch. I'm trying to think of names. I mean, I literally know all these from Football Manager. Taran Boadu. People like that who I know are Football Manager, completely off Football Manager. But for me, Netherlands, us, France, Germany are in a bit of like an indifferent stage. I know Joachim Löw's leaving after the Euros, so I don't know how they're going to do. I think the only people I'm scared of in the Euros are France. So if we can wait until we get France in the final, I'll be less scared because the final,
or hopefully avoid them.
I wasn't really scared when we got to the semi-final of the World Cup because I thought it's a one-off game. If we turn up, we'll beat anyone. Because we've got people like if Kane turns up, he could beat anyone on his own in the world.
Yeah,
best striker in the world. It's that simple. It's like we are.
I mean, we have
Poland
got
with a good team. So am I scared of Poland?
Players. We've got players in every position that are, I'm not going to say the best, but in contention for one of the best in the world in that position for the first time since the Gerrard Lampard sort of era.
The problem is I don't trust the manager. As well as he did in the World Cup. I think we had the easiest World Cup run of anyone.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, it took 2 scrappy Kane corner goals to save our group stage in the first game against Tunisia.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Like, if it's like you mentioned the one-off games, if Kane doesn't score those 2 tap-ins and the ball doesn't fall perfectly for him into that post, we go out. It's as simple as that. And then we managed to get... Colombia was a tough draw, but they are still on paper nothing compared to what we should be. And they took us to pens. Sweden was a game that we should be winning 6-0 in the friendly. But yeah, it was Dele Alli managed to somehow score in that game. And then Croatia, I know they have a good squad, but again, on paper,
I think we bottled the Croatia game. I think we bottled it.
100%.
I think we were just tentative for the second half.
Croatia aren't exactly like a national team. You look at their squad on paper and think, "Fuck, you know, they've got some good
players.
They've got world-class players, but not like a.
I don't have that though. They've got a couple.
Modric, I think.
I mean,
Modric.
no.
I think
Let's
Modric.
put it into
Modric
perspective.
is
Their centre-back partnership was Vida and Dejan Lovren.
exactly.
Dejan Lovren
And-
is the self-proclaimed best defender in the world. To be fair,
Dejan Lovren turned into prime Nesta in that World Cup.
Vida was doing a medical for Blues the summer after.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
wanted him as
remember.
well this summer.
The World Cup and the Euros, the Euros again this year is going to trigger some strange signings.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
Always does.
Yeah.
I can't wait
Yeah.
for West Brom to pick up another version
Well,
of Hal Robson-Kanu.
I remember World Cup 20. What was the last World? No, the one
2014.
before that.
14.
Yeah,
14.
we picked up Christian Gamboa from Costa Rica
I don't even know that is.
and some other left back as well. I think he was from Australia. Just
do you
purely
remember,
from the World Cup.
There was Ochoa from Mexico was like unbelievable in the World Cup.
Wasn't he a free agent the summer?
Yeah,
that summer?
but then I remember looking at him. I think it was the year or 2 years after, and he was like third choice keeper for Granada or something like that.
It's like
After being the
He's
best
so
keeper
small
in the
for a
World
keeper.
Cup.
he's like 5
Yeah.
So
foot 10.
tiny.
You know
The,
McGovern, the Northern Ireland keeper,
Yeah,
who had they called him the Wall, and now he's Aberdeen's second choice keeper.
Jesus.
it's like the thing like Navas. His career was made off Costa Rica's how well they did in the World Cup because they beat us. They got out of the group instead of us, didn't they?
Yeah, they topped the group, I think.
Yeah, and he's now one of the best keepers in the world at PSG. It's mad how these international tournaments trigger. I mean, I'm hoping that the international tournament doesn't trigger Kane to go to Real Madrid for 150 million, but
I don't
hoping
think
for
I don't think an international tournament's going to tip that over the edge, Charlie. I think he's done enough already to.
In the same
yeah,
breath,
I'd say so as
in
well.
the same breath, if he turns it on, I'll put a $5 on us to win the whole
Do you
thing.
know what? I wouldn't put it past him to win consecutive Golden Boots. I feel like he's
If he wins the Golden
easily
Boot
got
again,
that.
he's
Yeah.
he's the best striker in the world.
yeah. I think he is at the minute anyway. If you
It's hard with him and Lewandowski.
Yeah,
I know Lewandowski's playing an
Lewandowski,
easier
yeah.
league, but when you score 4,
You can't deny his
goals,
numbers.
and
Oh,
we're in-
yeah, you
we're in
yeah,
France,
that's true.
and he's got
can't deny his
45 goals.
numbers.
Yeah.
I was proud of myself for doing that at Sunday League.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like we are going
We're
off
going
on
a
a
bit far with
tangent.
this now, haven't
Yeah, I
We
think
are going off on a tangent, but it's still in the same breath. It's good to have players that aren't just Messi and Ronaldo and being able to have a debate about how good they are because they are both ridiculous talents.
we?
And Kane's still got probably another 5 or 6 years left at the top if he can continue to what Lewandowski is doing at his age. It's good to still have players that are of that level that aren't just, are you Messi or Ronaldo? No, so you're shit. They're sort of now coming into the frame and taking over that sort of debate and being able to just enjoy good footballers.
I mean, realistically, and this will be my last point, I think we've been recording for about an hour and a half now.
Yeah.
Lewandowski should be the Ballon d'Or winner this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Messi's having an
But he should have
incredible
last
run of
year,
form.
shouldn't he?
Yeah, but they cancelled.
Wasn't he
but-
like the unofficial?
Yeah.
He was the
Ballon d'Or
unofficial
winner?
winner, yeah.
I think he's got 20 this calendar year already, and I think Messi's got 15 and like 9 assists. So I mean,
I think
Messi,
the closest to Lewandowski at the minute, no bias, is Kane. With his
Yeah,
numbers.
probably is.
It's difficult. I think Kane is probably the closest, but then you've
Do you
got
know what really
Haaland,
frustrates me though?
Messi.
If Kane was not English, he would have won the Ballon d'Or by now.
Oh, I
I'm
don't know.
100%.
Oh, I don't
Dunno.
know.
Last year,
No.
when Modric won it,
Oh yeah,
How did
but then
Modric win
Messi
that?
should have won. Messi got like
Yeah,
45 goals that calendar year, and
but
Modric.
like we said about international tournaments swaying things, like if the World
Yeah,
Cup didn't happen,
if Kane has a
Modric
good,
doesn't
if
even
Kane
get
has a
top
good
50.
Euro, if we win the Euros, Kane will probably win it.
Yeah,
Because
Well, that should go towards that should go towards it though, because that's
Yeah,
part
it
of
should,
how
it
the
should.
player has played in that year. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
suppose
true.
it
but
should
then,
go.
but then
towards it.
realistically, because France won the World Cup that year, I thought Mbappe probably had a chance because Mbappe was France's best player in that World Cup.
yeah.
yeah.
He won them the game against Argentina on his own.
Mm.
It's not. I mean, we could go on for ages, but like Pavard was an absolute nobody before the World Cup. He scored the absolute humdinger against
It's a beauty.
Argentina.
It was a beauty. Mate,
And
that was
now he's
actually the World Cup of
Bayern's
half
first choice
volleys.
right back.
Nacho Fernandez
That
was an absolute
work, man.
screamer.
That word got me going.
Absolute
Humdinger.
humdinger.
Oh,
Absolute thunder bastard.
I feel like we should call it there. Of course,
Yeah, we should end
on the
game
humdinger.
I mean,
tomorrow.
well, on that humdinger, we'll see you next week.
The Modern Game Podcast.